deep down, we all have that passion for something that maybe is not normal, or maybe is not typical in your family or your friend circle, and it feels so uncomfortable to go pursue that thing. Not only fear of imperfection, but sometimes we fear, what if this does work out?
Yeah.
Good morning. Nice to see you again. How have you been? It's been a while since I've touched base. And so I thought that, you know what, this is a really good time to just check in, hop in here and let you know what's been going on. Oh, where do I start? I've had some really good time to just think about my life, the trajectory of my career, the things that I really want to do with my life, and like, where am I headed? And just to give some context, the last 3 years of my life have been a test. We'll say that. For those of you who don't know, my career started as a freelancer, and I started with weddings straight out of college. I was in a fraternity in college, so thankfully that gave me some connections with people, all sorts of people who were in relationships, wanting engagement photos, weddings. And I was also doing grad photos, you know, just really living the photographer, filmmaker life. My freelance career kind of came to a halt when COVID happened and when we moved here to Austin. And that just forced me to reflect, to actually look inside and see what the hell is going on in here. Ever since that moment of COVID onward, just to be completely transparent with you, I struggled a lot mentally, financially, emotionally, spiritually. And I think it happened for a reason, and I'm grateful for it. But it was definitely a tough time, because I didn't know what I was doing, and I was throwing all kinds of shit at the wall, and it would feel like something would stick and then it would just fall straight to the floor. Most of all, I struggled with my income, and it was really figuring out that new way of making money, because the only way I had learned straight out of college was through taking photos, taking videos. And one of the biggest reasons why I decided to pivot from freelancing is because I always had in the back of my mind, like, what if I break my leg? That's not sustainable. Then I can't work. You know, I can go down that path and do weddings and make really good money, but is that really what I value life as, is just making good money? And that question also kind of prevented me from making money. And so my rock bottom happened just about between 4 to 6 months ago. And thankfully, I can say today that things are looking a lot better, like the best that it's ever had. And I'm so grateful for it, but I needed some time to reflect these past 2 months, mainly because I felt like the content that I was creating outside of like the mixes and stuff, like the talking head ones where I'm doing stuff like this, I just felt like I was showing up as somebody that I'm not. You know, maybe 75% me, and then 25% seeking validation, trying to act like somebody I wasn't. And that bothered me. I knew that I needed to take some time away to really get clear on that, and I feel like I have. We're always on this never-ending path of just figuring ourselves out, learning more about what we want out of life and what we value, and you know, the type of work that we want to do and the type of lifestyle that we want to have. Over the past 2 months, I've had this like really big, really just like a calling. But the thing is like this voice has been in my head for so long. I had just gotten really good at clouding it because of my fears, because of my struggles, because of my finances, and feeling like I don't have shit figured out. But deep down, there has always been this voice in my mind. You know, one of the first creative arts that I stumbled upon is music. I have 4 older siblings, all females. All 4 of those siblings were in band. We were a bunch of band geeks. 2 out of 4 of them played trumpet. And I decided to play trumpet, and I played all the way from 6th or 7th grade, I can't remember which year you start, up until senior year. So I was really, I wouldn't say passionate about it, I was not, but I definitely fell into that rabbit hole of surrounding my life with music. Coming out of high school, I always took that for granted, you know, like just the lessons that it taught me, just like the ability to learn something difficult like the trumpet. I also played the drums growing up a little bit and learned how to play the guitar. Point is, music has always been a big part of my life. Before I found filmmaking and photography, it was that thing that allowed me to express myself. About 2 or 3 years ago, I really started to think about how cool it would be to produce music. Now, electronic music specifically has been a part of my life for over 12 years. Big part of my life, and I've always loved electronic music. I produced my very first song in Fruity Loops when I was like 16 years old. I remember I stayed up all night working on this song while my buddy was asleep, and I was doing it on his computer. I had finished a song at sunrise, quote unquote. I remember I was like, what the hell do I name this thing? I gotta give it a name or some shit. I was looking around on the desk. Nothing really stood out except for this silver flask. I was thinking, like, how could I play off of that word? And so eventually I came up with Flasker. Typical 16-year-old shit. And I always regret not making a second song. Maybe you can see where this is going. Coming back to today, there has always been that voice in the back of my mind, like, what if I produced music? And what if I pursued music? Was always a little intimidated by it. Just that fear of, just full of fear, honestly. A bunch of fears of like failure, fear of like what that would do to my lifestyle if I did pursue it. You've seen the mixes, like I've been pursuing music in sort of like a half-assed way. I think I was always intimidated by producing just because it's a whole nother program, and yeah, I just had a lot of resistance towards it. I remember how frustrated I used to get like trying to learn Adobe or Final Cut. Now I'm just at a point where I'm not afraid to put myself in discomfort if it means that I'm going to actually do the thing that will light me up. And it just feels like these past 2 months, everything has come full circle. I'm in the midst of taking my first steps with producing music. So obsessed with electronic music that I'm having trouble figuring out like which genre which genre of house music I want to pursue, which is just another fear getting in the way, fear of imperfection. With a YouTube channel, I want to make a lot more videos just like this, just being real with you and telling you what's going on in my life, because I feel like deep down we all have that passion for something that maybe is not normal or maybe is not typical in your family or your friend circle, and it feels so uncomfortable to go pursue that thing. Not only fear of imperfection, but sometimes we fear like, what if this does work out and my entire lifestyle changes? That sounds uncomfortable. And hopefully this video can remind you that through comfort, we do not create the life that is fulfilling. It's only through discomfort. And the quicker that we can just realize that and accept that, okay, the more uncomfortable that I feel, the more growth that lies on the other side of that. And that's something that I've been trying to embody a lot lately. Also, not only falling more in love with music or with the idea of producing music, but just stepping back into the filmmaking and photography role. You know, I just want to express myself creatively more on this channel as opposed to just sitting here talking like this, which kind of contradicts what I'm doing right now. I hope these last 2 months have been treating you well, and if they haven't, just know that, you know, through struggle, there's always a purpose. Whatever you're going through, there's always an opportunity. It's a matter of choice for us to just kind of think about things that way and to make the most of what we got. I am working on another mix right now, so if you've been enjoying those tunes, then stay tuned for that. Wish you well, much love, and I'll talk to you soon. Cheers.
Oh my God, how did that happen?